normally I don't box you in like this, Albert.
Yep.
But you may not answer this question with because they can. Okay? That is not that is not an acceptable answer, even though it might be the ultimate answer. But why didn't Saquon Barkley get a long-term deal from the Giants on Monday? Why not?
Because I think both sides were more entrenched in their positions than I figured they would be. And it looks like a workable divide, right? And, I earlier in the offseason, I think Mike Florio reported this, and this was, I believe, right before the deadline to tag guys back in March, that the Giants, who were working on the Daniel Jones deal at the time, were at $13 million. Saquon was at $16 million. Now the guaranteed money is obviously a part of that. Then the deadline passes, the Giants pull the offer. That may or may not have had a material effect on the tenor of negotiations. But the reason I thought it was going to get done, Rich, honestly, there was, I think, ample motivation on both sides. I mean, look, Saquon's even further into his career than a lot of these other guys are. He's played for 5 years now. He's had an extensive injury history. And if he's going to bet on himself, this year, then, it's going to be a bet that there's going to be a pot of gold for him there in March of 2024, which, is going to be his 7th year in the league, which is really old for a running back. So, I felt like the motivation at the end would be to take every dime you can and call it a day, because it is a shaky proposition going forward without a deal now if you're him. And then for the Giants, I just think he meant so much to Joe Shane and Brian Daboll and building their program, over the last year and turning the Giants around and turning Daniel Jones around. And God, what a great message that would send to the locker room, and getting a guy who has meant so much to what you've done to build the place up rewarded, that I thought that they'd be motivated to do it, even if, from a principle standpoint, they may be, and look, this is where they come from. They come from Buffalo, right? Like they may be more attuned to investing deeper at premium positions than they would be at a position like running back. But ultimately, in the end, I think, I probably am guilty of this, because I woke up Monday morning thinking they were going to get something done. They were a little bit more entrenched in their positions than we would have thought.
Well, how far apart are they? I mean, if it is just $16 million opposed to $13 million, so it's $3 million here, then $3 million there, and $3 million there. Is it really just the cost of maybe his 1 year of his tender over the life of the contract? And how does that fall apart like that, or is it not that simple?
And my suspicion is, Rich, knowing what I know about this, that it may have come down to how much money was guaranteed in the third year. That'd be my guess anyway. I made this argument in the column this morning that, let's just say the Giants only wanted to guarantee 2 years, right? Mm-hmm. And let's say the Giants guaranteed $28 million over the next 2 years, okay? And then the third year is a de facto team option. Even in that case, Saquon would be walking away from $18 million that he's not going to get as part of the franchise tag. So now he has to make that $18 million up next year, again, when he'll be going into year 7. And is he going to be able to make that $18 million up? I think the Giants maybe figured, eventually he would take that, and it'd be difficult for them to guarantee money in the year 8 with Saquon, which again is a very down the line for a running back. And, I think Saquon's probably, his position was probably feeling like I gotta, protect myself from an injury standpoint, where we are and where I am in my career. And, I need at least a part of the third year guaranteed. So that'd be my guess, but there were a lot of moving parts in this negotiation for sure.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.